Thank you very much for clicking on this video. And in this video we are going to study chemistry by questions and answers. This is a revision class. As you can see on the topic, we are treating 2010 Waec past question paper objective. We go gradually. I'm going to give you reason why I choose my answer and why the other options are not accepted. Question number 22. Which of the following gases can be collected by the setup illustrated below? The setup illustrated below is showing us a downward delivery of a gas where there is going to be upward displacement of gas. If something is going down and another is going up, it means that the one that is going down is heavier than the other. Therefore, we should look for the gas that are heavier than air. I don't know if you get me. The setup here is showing us a downward delivery, and there is going to be upward displacement of air. Therefore, what happens here is that the gas is heavier than air. So when the gas goes down, it pushes the air to go up. Now, which of these gas in A, B, C, D is heavier than air? Let's look at them one after the other. How can I know that this particular gas is heavier than air? We know this by looking at the molecular mass of that particular gas, because the assumed vapor density of air is 14.4 or 14.45 or 14.5, which if we approximate, convert it to what would have been the assumed molecular mass of air, will be 28.8 or 29. Therefore, any molecular mass of a gas that is above 29 is heavier than gas. Now let's go. Hydrogen is 1,1, therefore which is 2, low. Hydrogen chloride is 36.5, which is above air assumed molecular mass by me, or its vapor density, which is 14.4. Ammonia, which is 17, is lower than 29, and nitrogen, which is 28, is even lower than 28.8. Talk of the 29 assumed molecular mass by me. Therefore, if a value of a gas molecular mass is higher than 28.8 or 29, that just assume that the gas is heavier or denser than air. Therefore, the correct option is B. Question number 23. A given volume of oxygen diffused through a porous partition in 8 seconds. How long will it take the same volume of carbon dioxide to diffuse under the same condition? Then we take 6 to be 12 and we take O to be 16. And according to this, we are dealing with Graham's law of diffusion. To know the rate, we are trying to use the rate of diffusion to calculate the time it took or it would take CO2 to diffuse with a particular volume of that of oxygen under the same condition. Now, from Graham's law, Graham states that the rate of diffusion of a given mass of gas is inversely proportional to the square root of the vapor density of that gas at constant temperature and pressure. That is how I got the answer of that molecular mass of air that I called assumed molecular mass of air, because we are going to compare VD and molecular mass, where molecular mass is the same thing as 2 times VD. That vapor density there is equal to molecular mass all over 2, or we say molecular mass of a gas is equal to 2 times the VD, and the VD vapor density of air is said to be 14.4, and I just said that the molecular mass should be 2 times 14.4, which gives us 28.8, which I approximated it to be 29, telling you that if a gas is above 29 by molecular mass, should be heavier than air. That's how I got that. Now let's come back to what we have here. We are trying to find out the time it will take CO2 of the same volume of that of oxygen to diffuse. Okay, that what we're going to do is to look at the word rate. The rate has to do with the volume over time. Therefore, the rate of oxygen is the volume of that of oxygen over the time it takes in seconds. And they say that the volume is equal, therefore the volume cancel each other. But we are still going to use it that way, as you're seeing on the screen. Then we have rate of diffusion, which is rate of diffusion of oxygen all over rate of diffusion of CO2 will give us square root of, open a bracket, of molecular mass of CO2 all over molecular mass of oxygen. When we open it, we are going to have 44 all over 32. When we have 44 all over 32, If we divide, it's going to give us 1.375 according to what my calculator is showing here. And if we square root it, we are going to have 1.17. Then if we multiply it by 8, as you can see on the screen, we have 9.4. Therefore the correct option there is option C. Let's go for question number 24. Which of the following gases contains the highest number of atoms at STP? A. 6 moles of neon. Remember that neon is monoatomic. 6 moles of neon. That means that we are having normal 6 times 6.023 times 10 to the power 23 atoms. When we look at 3 moles, we are having 3 times 6 points. If you look at the C, 3 times. 2 moles of chlorine has 2 chlorine there. That means 2 times 2 will give us 4. That is 4 times 6 points. Whereas B is 3 times, which is 6 points. But if you look at ethane, ethane is C2H6. We are having at least 8 atoms there. That 8 multiplying 6.023 times 10 to the power 23 shows that we have a larger volume. We have a larger atoms in 1 mole of ethane than any of them. Let's go for 25. Given that R is rate and P is density, the expression R is inversely proportional to 1 all over square root of P represents what? Remember they say that this rho, which they wrote as P, is the density, and I just defined it. This is a Graham's law of diffusion. Boyle's law is discussing about pressure and volume. That if you increase pressure, you are going to have a reduced volume. If you decrease pressure, you are going to have increased volume of the gas. While at constant temperature and number of moles. When we go to Charles' law discusses about temperature and volume. If you increase temperature, the volume will increase. If you decrease temperature, the volume will decrease. Dalton's law of partial pressure is trying to tell you that if we have unmixable gases that are inside a vessel, and that vessel has pressure, it means that the pressure is a combination of the two gas pressure. Look at what I mean here. If you have gas A and gas B, each of them has their own pressure. Now, the total pressure of that vessel is a combination of gas of A pressure and gas of B pressure. Therefore, if I want to find the gas A pressure, I need to subtract the known pressure from the total pressure to get the pressure of that I am looking for, like gas A. Okay, let's go for question number 26. The determination of heat of combustion is carried out with what? A thermometer. A thermometer is a deceiving word here. The thermometer checks the temperature. A bomb calorimeter is the correct answer. An evaporating dish is used in evaporation. In evaporation processes, whereas a boiling tube is normally used to boil substance. Therefore, a bulb calorimeter is the correct option here. 27. The minimum amount of energy required for effective collision between reacting particles is known as A. Activation energy. I choose that as the correct answer because the energy that is required for a reaction to occur is activation energy. And this definition is beautiful in the sense that it will help to explain collision theory, which believes that for a reaction to occur there must be collision, and the collision must be effective. That means that for a reaction to occur too, since we say effective, it means that there must be an energy that is being gained or required for us to have a reaction done. Therefore, I believe this is supposed to be one of the best definitions I have seen about activation energy. Question number 28. Which of the following oxides is basic? I have something I do tell people. For you to know the one that is basic, look for group 1 and group 2 majorly. Their oxides are basic. Now, anyone that is above group 1 and group 2, that is from group 3 up, it goes towards acidic. Even though being a metal, it will still be going towards acidic. For instance, aluminium is in group 3, is a metal. That means that it should be basic, but because it has moved from group 2, it has entered p orbital. The p orbital has a little sickness in them that tend them towards non-metal. Therefore, because it is found in p orbital, it is possible that it will behave a little bit like a non-metal, even behaving as a metal. That is why boron is semi-metal, or we call it metalloid, because they have entered a p block where most of the p blocks should have been all non-metals. Here the basic oxide supposed to lie between group 1 and group 2 and transition elements, and I have looked all through the options. I do not see any transition elements, and the only thing I see as an oxide is calcium, which is in group 2. Therefore we have eliminated the A, B, C and choose Kao, which is the correct answer. The NO2 is acidic, Al2O3 is amphoteric. It is amphoteric because aluminum is found in group 3, found in p orbital. Which p orbital? Whenever you have more of your electron ending at p electrons, p orbital, it means that you are tending towards non-metal, and it means that you are going to be more acidic if you form oxide. Now, since metals supposed to be basic, and we have a little quantity of that looking towards like an acid, it combines the two to make aluminum to be both acid and base. We call it amphoteric because it can react with acid, it can react with base to form salt and water. Which of the following equimolar solution will have the highest conductivity? What we mean by conductivity is the one that has the best or the highest electronegative large difference. The answer goes with nano 3. It must be coming from a highly electropositive against a highly electronegative. Therefore, sodium is highly electropositive here compared to all the options we have here, since we are using all triazonitrate salts. We go for question number 30. They say the following substances are normal salts except one. If you look closely to all the options, you see one of the options has OH, which make it wrong, to be called a normal salt. It looks abnormal, by the way. But let me tell you what they call this type of salt. They call this salt a basic salt. Question number 31. Which of the following chlorides is insoluble in water? I have a song that I did in my types of chemical reaction that tells you the one that are soluble, the salt that are soluble. From that song, it is found out that silver chloride is insoluble. Therefore, the remaining B, C, D are soluble chloride, but silver is not soluble. Which of the following factors will not affect the solubility of a gas? That is question number 32. If you look at concentration, we don't have concentration when we are discussing gas. Therefore, that's the correct option. Nature of solvents affects, temperature affects, pressure affects. Now, let me look at how does the nature of solvent affect. If, for instance, the solvent is a solvent that the gas can dissolve easily, it will dissolve inside it. What if the solvent is a solvent that the gas cannot dissolve in? It will not dissolve in it. Temperature. If you increase the temperature of a gas, what happens is that the gas tries to move away from that liquid. That is, try to lose its solubility. Increase in temperature reduces the solubility of gases. Pressure. If you compress gases, they will try to go back to the liquid they are. That is just a little explanation of that. Therefore, concentration is the correct answer. You know, concentration is more like pressure. Concentration goes with liquid and solid, whereas pressure goes with only gases. Question number 33. Consider the equilibrium reaction represented by the following equation. Okay, which of the following statements about the equilibrium system is correct? I want you to know that the sign there is minus 395. Therefore, it is an isothermic reaction. Then let's look at the option. Addition of catalyst changes the equilibrium position. That is, a catalyst has no effect at equilibrium position. This is because it is going to increase both the forward and the backward reaction rates of formation at the same rate. No change. Therefore, we are not going to see any effect. Decrease in pressure increases the yield of SO3. If you decrease the pressure, it is going to favor the part or the reaction part that has the highest volume. And if you look at the equation, the one that's supposed to have highest volume is the one that has the highest mole, and the highest mole here is the reactant side, and that goes against B. Option C. Decrease in pressure increases the equilibrium concentration of O2. D. Increase in temperature favors the forward reaction. Increase in temperature favors the forward reaction. If this 395 was positive, the option D would have been conflicting or competing with option C. But since this thing is exothermic, therefore option D is off, option A is off, option B is off, option C is the correct answer. Because if you decrease in pressure, it is going to increase the number of O2 that is present in the reactant. 34. The rate of chemical reaction of solids are not affected by what? Pressure. Pressure has no effect on solid and liquid. If you have watched my nature of matter, you will get that information repeatedly said. Pressure has no effect on liquid and pressure has no effect on solids. Question number 35. Which of the following statements about the cell notation is correct? You can see it on the screen. Okay, let me just put them one after the other. Mg plus. It means that this is metal ion. The first one written is at the left hand side, and Mg is the anode. This is because we have magnesium first called before copper in electrochemical series, not because of this work we have here. That is Kena Kamagiala, Zufilisnel, Plum Haku Ha. See, I have already called mag before I call ku. That from the sign of electrochemical series or reactivity series. Magnesium is called first before copper. Therefore, magnesium should serve as the anode, whereas copper should serve as the cathode. And the double line there is what we call the salt bridge. We use it to complete the circuit. And I think that's. Let's look at the options. We have copper is the anode. No, I already said that copper is the cathode. Magnesium is reduced. Magnesium is not reduced because there it is oxidized. At the anode, we normally have oxidation. At the cathode, we have reduction. Magnesium is the anode. That's the correct answer. I don't need to look at the D. They say there in the D, the double line represents the electrode. No. 36. Which of the following statements about the electrolysis of PuSO4, that is copper tetraoxosulfate 6 solution using copper cathode and platinum anode is not correct? We are talking about not correct. Therefore, let's look at what are possibly here. Copper is deposited at the cathode. Yes, because at the cathode, though copper will be deposited coming from the copper ion in the solution. Oxygen is liberated at the anode. Oxygen will be going to the anode, that is the platinum, from the OH. As you can see on the screen, the OH will split into oxygen and water. The O2, the OH is the hydroxy ion, where the O2, which is the oxygen, will be liberated at the anode. It is used for the purification of copper. No, we don't use this for purification of copper. If you want to do purification of copper, what we do is that we use two copper, one impure and one pure. Whereas that one impure will serve as the anode, the one that is pure will serve as the cathode. So that there will be a deposition of copper coming down from the impure, dissolving inside the solution, and still being deposited at the cathode. The solution becomes acidic. Yes, as the copper is being removed, the hydrogen ion and the tetraoxosulfate keep on going back to the solution. Tetraoxosulfate ion combining with hydrogen ion give us acid. That means that acidic nature of the solution would increase. 37. What is change in oxidation number of manganese in the reaction represented by the following equation? Moving from 7 to 2. That is, it is a reduction reaction. Now you may be asked, how do I get the 7 to 2? If you look at MnO minus 4, we need to find the oxidation state of Mn, that is the manganese. Now the minus means that all the summation of that value will give us minus 1. Therefore Mn plus 4 times O will give us minus 1. Where oxygen is minus 2, 4 times minus 2 is giving us minus 8. M minus 8 will give us minus 1. If you make Mn the solid formula, where the 8 move to the other side, become positive, it was minus before, that we have minus 1 plus 8 will give us 7. Therefore manganese 7 in that place move to become manganese 2 plus, as you can see on the screen. 38. The quantity of electricity required to discharge 1 mole of univalent ion is 96500 coulomb. 39. Fats and oil are used as raw material in the following industries except in plastic industry. Paint industry, we use it there, we use it in margarine industry, we use it in the cosmetic industry. Question number 40. Which of the following substance is trihydric? When we talk about trihydric, we mean it has 3 hydroxyl in its as its functional group. Yeah, therefore the correct answer is glycerol. Phenol is 1, glycol is 2, ethanol is 1. That is have 1 hydroxyl. 41. An advantage of detergent over soap is that detergents are readily available. No. Are imported from? No. That's not the reason. Are non-biodegradable? No. Lather readily with water? Yes, because detergent lathers both in soft and hard water. Question number 42. The product of fermentation of sugar are ethanol and water. Okay, we go for 43. The IUPAC name of C2H2COO C2H5 is ethylpropanoate. The reason being that the C2H5 at the end is a derivative, therefore we call it ethyl. C is methyl, C2 is ethyl, therefore that is ethyl. Now we have C2 and another C going to the O, that is 3C there. We have it as propanoate because that is the root of this compound. 44. An organic compound contains 40% carbon, 6.7% hydrogen and 53.3% oxygen. What is the empirical formula of this compound? If you look at this, looking at the relative atomic mass of the oxygen 16, carbon 12, hydrogen 1. If you divide them by that, we are going to have 3.3, 6.7 and 3.3. Dividing by the least among them, we are going to have 1, 2, 1. Therefore option C is the correct answer. 45. Consider the reaction represented by the following equation. If you look at that equation, it is a hydrogenation. What we mean by hydrogenation reaction is a reaction whereby hydrogen is being added across the double or triple bond. Yeah, if you look at this is a triple bond, that means that we are moving from ethane. When the hydrogen is added, the S become ethene. When hydrogen is added again, the Y become ethane. Therefore, it is from ethene to ethane. 46. Compound N reacts with sodium metal to produce a gas that gives a pop sound with a burning splint. N also reacts with ethanoic acid to give a sweet-smelling liquid. Compound N is an alkanoid because the sweet-smelling liquid is an alkanoate. Alkane does not do that. Alkanoic acid will not react with ethanoic acid again to give us the sweet-smelling liquid. Therefore, the answer goes with A, which is alkanoid. Of which alkanoid, when alkanoid reacts with sodium metal, will always give us a hydrogen that will give us a pop sound. Okay, we go for 47. Which of the following structures represents that of ethyl ethanoate? The option is B. Just like as I said in question number 43, the same applies in question number 47. 48. The main function of limestone in the blast furnace is to remove what we call slag, and this slag is what we call impurities. Therefore, option C goes to be the correct answer. 49. Which of the following substance cannot be classified as a heavy chemical? The answer is calorimeter. But listen, if the question is which of the following can be classified as a heavy chemical, option A, B, C are off. The correct option should be H2SO4 because that's the one that every chemical industry or chemical laboratory must have H2SO4, which is tetrodorsal acid. Question number 50, which is supposed to be the last of the question but not the least. Which of the following metals exists as liquid at ordinary temperature? Copper is solid, gold is solid, silver is solid. It's only mercury that is liquid. There are only 2 elements in the periodic table that exist as liquid. We have them to be mercury and bromine. Thank you very much for watching this video to this extent. Don't forget to click the notification bell as you are clicking the share. Comment and tell me what you think that I can do in order to improve this video. I wish to see you in flying colors.